Hey guys, it's Greta here. So as you can see through my setting, I'm not really home, right? So I was thinking about the topic for this live. Oh my god, let me kind of go a bit higher. So I was thinking for a while about the topic for this live, and I just thought I'm gonna share with you how I'm dealing with quarantine myself. As you can see, I am not at home. I'm quarantining with my friend, and it is challenging, but how am I staying positive? How I'm making the most out of it, and just basically how to be happy. Well, happy, I don't know is the word happy, how not to get depressed during quarantine. That's the topic. Hey Alana, so guys, please share in the comments how you dealing with quarantine, what you're doing, what's making you happy. Are you stuck at home and you can't get out, or maybe your country is actually a bit more, like it's the corona is not as big, so you can do things outside. Let me know in the comments below how you're doing with it. And so I'm going to share with you my routine, how I'm dealing with the stuff, and I'm going to give some advice for the married families, okay? For people at home who are married and who have children, all right? Because I have a lot of clients where the women are really complaining because we are really, really struggling, especially the girls with, families with children. Okay, so first I'll share my routine and then I'll give some tips on that. Okay, let me see. So, what are you girls? I saw some comments and they disappeared. Anyway, so I'm gonna share my routine first, and then I'll look at your comments. We can go out, deep healing right now. You can go out, that's good, but you can't go out. You're in Germany, Alana, right? So I don't think you can, because my parents are in Berlin and I'm sure we still cannot. Yeah, you can. Oh, wow, you can. That's amazing. That's good. Lucky you. Lucky you. Okay, so let me share with you, ladies. So basically, as you can see, I'm not home. I'm at my friend's place now. I think this must be a third week actually. I'm not even sure. I lost track of time. Today is what day? It's Friday. Actually, I think tomorrow I'm gonna be here, but either the second or the third week. I'm not sure. I'm totally lost track of time. I have third week. You see, oh my God, I'm third week here. Time flies. Okay, so what is my routine? I wake up because I have an online business. So my business is rolling, it's all like it was before, and I'm uploading and doing content. So for my routine, not many things have changed. The key things what have changed is that I'm not in my place. I am dependent on other people, so I'm not independent right now. Um, I am having a room, her room, she has given me her room. I can go out and so on. So not many things have changed for me personally. Maybe that's why it's easier for me to handle it. But anyway, I will share with you my routine. So first thing I do, I get up in the morning. I started praying for the ones who don't know. So I pray. Then I start with my day. So I get on my laptop, do my stuff, and so on. Um, I do not watch Netflix. I watched one movie here in 3 weeks. I have watched one movie, although the TV in this house is on all the time. Because my friend, she likes a lot of kind of criminal movies and that's her passion. So the TV is on all the time. I only watched one movie in 3 weeks. Okay, so keep that in mind if you want to stay away from Netflix or TV, even if it's on all the time, you can do it. My friend, she uses the time wisely, so she watches the movies for her own inspiration because she's doing some things on a side with it. However, if like I could be binge watching the movies with her, she's not binge watching it, she's doing it for her own inspiration to do some other things on side. I could be binge watching, but I'm not doing that. I'm not, I'm in my own room working on my stuff. or maybe I'm in the same room as her, but I would still be working on my stuff. So no Netflix. Um, keep working on my business. Now with gym, what I started doing, I started following one girl who does a lot of Instagram lives. So basically, whenever she's doing a live, I rewatch her live and she does a live gym session. Okay, so when I'm rewatching her live, basically I do the fitness at home, and it's not even at home, it's like I literally just in my room. The room is quite full of stuff. There's a little tiny space on the carpet where I literally do my exercise, right? So I rewatch her and do the exercise. Obviously I don't get enough because in the gym when I usually go, I run and do, full on exercise. So now it's kind of like a warm up, but it's better than nothing. And actually, my friend has like a tiny garden, but in that garden, right, it's basically a bin area. It's a tiny bin area. However, tonight I'm gonna go in a corner and do some full on running, like kind of knee high up running in the corner next to that bin area, because that is the place where I can get out and get a bit of physical activity. And then I'll come back and do the exercise on the carpet, literally next to my bed. There's a bit of space. I'll squeeze in and I'll do it. So the key is to adapt. The way I'm looking at it, at the whole thing is, I would say God, right? Maybe it's not a God, but like I would say it's God giving us a challenge. And, it's kind of like embrace what you've got. It's making you appreciate life. It's making you aware what you've got. Like so many of us got so spoiled with what we've got, and we want more and more and more. So this is a very, very good positive experience to realize what we took for granted and what we've got, and in order to embrace of what we already have. So this is what I'm focusing on. Now, talking about the moms who have children, if any of you watching, I want to give you some tips, because I obviously worked as a nanny for a very long time, I think 8 or 9 years, and I worked with many children. And there was a time when I would be stuck at home because it's raining or this or that. And it's like when it's three toddlers running around and you want to take your head off, like how to kind of be in charge of your kids and be okay with it, right? So, what I noticed, so it's a bit of a nanny advice, right? So, what I noticed that a lot of families, they get a nanny to entertain their kids. Okay, so we get a nanny and we go like, oh, I want you to play with the child. I want you to do this. I want you to do this. I want you to do that. However, if the nanny is always entertaining the kids, what she's doing to the kids is she makes them very needy and very dependent. Okay, so when the mom comes back, the child is still very needy, it's very dependent, and all that he wants to do with the mom over the weekend is just like not leave her alone and just be, be on her case all the time. So, ladies who have children, toddlers, young children, right? Don't play with them all the time. Put yourself first. Okay, yes, you need to feed the child, you need to make sure it's safe and so on, but do not play with your kids all the time, because you're gonna make them codependent and needy. And it's like, if I pet a dog, right, and I give cuddles to a dog, the dog is running after me 24/7. There is a time when I need to say no, because if I'll say yes to the dog, it's gonna like always be on me, right? It's gonna get used to me. So it's very important to say no to a child. And your child long term will benefit you, will be grateful for it. Like when I was a little girl, right, I remember my mom, I was very, very independent. My mom would play with me, but she would not play with me much. Okay, so she would not she would give me time, and I was like, my mom was stay-at-home mom and so on, so she would give me time, she would be around, but she would always do her own thing. And if I wanted to play with her, she would say like, Greta, find something to play with, just use your head, be creative, find something to play with. And I would get really annoyed, but then first I would get grumpy with my mom, but then I would look for things to play with. And it made me very, very creative, because when you leave a child to get bored, this is when he starts being creative. And this is when it starts being independent. Okay, so keep like leave your kids to be bored. Like even if you're in the same room, even if you're on your phone, on Instagram or anywhere else, don't feel guilty for not playing with a child. Let him be bored. If he says, Mom, what you're doing, you say, I'm busy, right? Like find a toy to play with or find something to play with. And then you will see how creative your child gets. And after a while, you will get into a pattern that your child, by him or herself, plays by itself for 3-4 hours and doesn't even bother you, right? If you're gonna get into this pattern, you're gonna have, you're gonna be able to rest, you're gonna be able to do your housework, you're gonna be able to do your cooking, you're gonna be able to do what you need to do, you're gonna be able to rest. Okay, so ladies, like, don't worry about entertaining your kids all the time, because you're gonna be, you will worn yourself out. Because if you're married, there's a husband, there's children, there's housework, there's so many things, and during Corona you're stuck, you are locked up, so there is million things to do. Another thing, ladies, ask for help. Ask your guys for help. Just because you know that you can do a million of things, do not push yourself to the level that you're doing everything, and when you're so tired that you worn yourself out and you're complaining and nagging and being this grumpy, horrible person, right? So if you feel like you cannot do anymore, ask for help. And if the other person is not helping you, just leave it. Leave it. Like, it's better to have things a bit more messy, but keeping you happy in here, rather than everything is perfect, but the mom is grumpy and it's negative and it's tired and all it does is complaining, right? So it's better to be happy and not to have a house perfect, rather than, like, have it all perfect, but you're totally worn out and sucked out and you can't do anything. Podcasts. Another thing, ladies, if you are home, so Bruce is with me, which is my friend's cat. Let me kind of show you. Here he is. Right, so Bruce is with me, Bruce is following me around. Now, ladies, listen to podcasts. If you're with children or without children, like whatever you're doing, washing the dishes, cooking, and so on, listen to positive podcasts. Podcasts like listen to Louise Hay, listen to Oprah, listen to positivity. The more you will listen to positivity, the more you will get in a more grateful, better mood. And it's really important, especially during this type of like quarantine where you're locked up inside the house. The only way to survive it is to be grateful. So you have to make sure to be grateful. Do not focus on negativity, focus on positivity. Focus on the things that you're grateful for. So for example, right now I'm very grateful that I have a friend who took me in at the last minute. I'm very grateful that I have food to eat. I'm very grateful that I have a bed to sleep in. I'm very grateful that I have clients. I'm very grateful for many, many things. I don't focus on things like, oh my God, I can't go to the gym. Oh my God, when is it gonna be over? Oh my God, I won't be able to fly, or like, like, I'm not in my house. How long will I have to stay here? I don't focus on that. I focus on the things that make me be grateful for, and practice gratitude. Focus on gratitude, and this will definitely help you. Another thing, what is actually, I remember by watching Sadhguru. If you don't know Sadhguru, guys, I would recommend you to watch Sadhguru. Sadhguru is kind of like, I would call him like a positivity preacher. He's a good, like a life coach. But there was one thing that he said that really stood out for me. And what it is accept things. When you don't accept things because you don't want to accept it, it's very, very difficult to deal with that, because you end up being in a negative state and you try and break it. You try and break through it, right? So you try and be the opposite. You try not to obey the rules. If you do not obey the rules, if you try to break the rules and you just don't accept what is happening, it's going to be very, very difficult for you. You're basically creating nearly a torture for yourself. Now we are in these circumstances where there is nothing that we can do. What we need to do is accept it and make the most of what we already have. So for example, the example he gave, if you are, like if you want to try and play football and you go into a team and you run around with the ball, you're not kicking it, you're carrying it with your hands. And the rules of football is obviously to kick the ball around, right? To, follow the rules. And you're like, no, I want to carry it with my hands, blah, 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 like you're gonna upset everyone in the team and you're gonna get kicked out of the team because you were not accepting the conditions, and you're having your own tantrum. So you're gonna be unhappy and the team is gonna be unhappy, right? If you come into the team and you accept the rules and you try and make the most out of them and follow them, this is when you get happy. So for example, if you're going into a country, right, and let's say maybe you're from somewhere that is, everything is allowed, there is no rules and so on, you're used to freedom, you walk around naked, whatever, right? And let's say you are in a country where it's strict rules, you can do that, there are massive rules, and let's say you are maybe locked up with a family from that country, right? If you're gonna be rebellious to it and you're gonna be like, but no, in my country we can walk around naked and we can do this and we can do this and you can do that, and the family says, no, these are the rules that you need to follow, you can't do it. If you don't accept the rules, if you do not accept the situation, you're gonna have the most horrible experience of that family, right? You're gonna be like, you're just gonna be fighting and you're gonna be like, I want to go back home, this is horrible, I'm not used to it, how could you this and how could you that, right? But if you're like, okay, these are the rules, this is what I need to follow, and you accept it, and once you accept it, you think like, okay, what can I do in this situation in order to live, in order to experience life and have reach my ultimate potential and, like enjoy life while having these rules? This is when I promise you, you will enjoy it. And there are always a million things to do and ways to be positive no matter where you are. You can find positivity in everything. Even when you're crashing your rock bottom, even if people are dying, you can still find positivity in it. Like it's just like it's what you look for. So this is my kind of a main point. Accept. Look at Bruce. Oh my God. Accept where you are at and focus on positivity and have your boundaries in place and things will be okay. I'm going to share what has helped me as well for the last couple of days, which I know some of you will probably find weird, but I'm very proud of it and kind of want to preach it nowadays. Obviously you don't need to like accept it. It would be nice if you did, but you don't have to, it's like you're not in my house. You're just kind of watching and observing. But basically I started praying, and I started praying. I started to try pray with my head on a mat. And what I found when I did that, maybe it's the blood that goes into your head. So maybe yoga would help, guys. I don't know. I don't really practice yoga. So maybe, because yoga has like a lots of positions. When you put your head down on a mat, like in a childlike position, or the way children sleep, like babies sleep, you have a bum out, but the head is on a mat. I think the blood flows into your brain, and or maybe not, or maybe just a connection with God, who knows. I believe it's a connection with God, but I'm giving you guys a bit more scientific explanation, right? So for the last couple of days, I've been getting a headache. I was trying to do everything what I was telling you to do, and I was getting a headache. I was getting grumpy and irritated. And my friend, because my friend, she's very religious, and she said, Greta, just try, like, if you're praying, put your head on a mat. And I tried to do that. I literally did it just one time. And when I got up, I didn't have a headache anymore. I was not grumpy anymore. So I believe that, it's all together. Maybe the blood kind of rushed to the top of your brain or something, and obviously the connection with God and all of that. But that really helped me. So I'm just sharing with you guys my experience, what really has helped me. And if you disagree with this, that's fine. Just I would still recommend you, if you're doing yoga, to try some positions where your head is on a mat, like in the blood kind of, so it really gets rid of the grumpiness. I don't know, it helped me, so I'm just sharing. Anyway, how is everyone doing? Let me know in the comments below, and I'm gonna read it out and see, do you guys have any questions? And as you can see, no hairdresser. I don't know, like trying to do things with my hair. This is my friend's top. This is my friend's top because I'm in her room, so I literally went into her wardrobe because I showed up at her door with a suitcase and just a couple of clothes. So the clothes that you're gonna be seeing, it's my friend's clothes. I'm very tall. I'm 6'3". So this is obviously too short for me, but it works for the YouTube video. People don't know unless I tell them, which I did now. I'm reading books. What books do you recommend? What books do I recommend? Get a Law of Attraction book. The Secret is really nice, but actually one of my favorite books is called Magic. It's kind of like, it's magic, and it's a book on gratitude. And I think this is what for all of us would help right now, a book on gratitude. So it just shows you how to be grateful for the things that may not be going so well in your life. So I think for now, book on gratitude would really be good. That would be the top one I would recommend. Yeah, stay home, stay safe, stay positive, exactly. It's third week. I have literally watched one movie within 3 weeks too, and I didn't like it. Good. That's really good. Same for men too. Will Smith videos too. Yeah, Will Smith, I do follow him on Instagram, and his wife, the Red Table Talks. They are quite, yeah, he's entertaining. Yeah. Yeah, I'm literally never bored. It's not easy to proceed, but it's so worth it. I'm so looking forward to book you for business coaching as soon as I can afford it. Sure, ladies. I do business coaching, and let me do. Yeah, I do business coaching, ladies, because it's we are facing really challenging times right now. But if you're an online entrepreneur, ladies, I'm not complaining. I'll say this. I don't want to like brag into anyone's face, because I understand that so many people are dealing with so many challenges. But, you know, touch wood, I'm okay. So that's all I can say, and this is the time for you ladies to start, you can follow my footsteps. I can show you how to follow them, and YouTube is okay. I'm coaching my friend how to do videos on YouTube right now. My friend is probably gonna start writing a book. So she is getting into passive income, how to do entrepreneurial stuff. And we have something so amazing as the power of internet, and with this power we can do incredible things. So business coaching, I'm your guy. It doesn't happen quickly. It does not happen like it didn't happen. Things didn't happen for me in a year. I only became a part-time in my business in 2 years. Now I'm on the fourth year, so it takes time. It takes time, but I was looking at long term, and time flies anyway. And now we're dealing with the crisis, and I'm the one still managing it and helping my parents and so on. So I'm grateful to God that it's kept me in that position. Um, and to my clients, obviously. My clients, Greta, I'm quarantined with my narcissistic brother. I have to cook for him and have to do all the other works, but he doesn't like anything I do. He complains always. It is so depressing. What to do? Focus on gratitude as well. Like, try and, even with like narcissistic people, you can stop. You can set in boundaries. The goal is don't get involved into it. Um, for something like this, the best advice I could give you is like, if you would get one-on-one coaching and you share your specific situations, we can tell you how to behave in those specific situations. With something like this, when you drop the whole thing, it's too much to share, and I don't know where exactly, like you're stuck. What exactly is he doing that it makes things stuck? So it's difficult to give you advice, but with everyone in life, you can set boundaries, and in the meantime, still focus on gratitude. You've got a brother. You're like, for example, maybe you're complaining right now, like, oh, narcissistic brother. Some people don't even have a brother. So, sometimes, like, just focus on gratitude, really focus on gratitude. And in the meantime, try and set boundaries. And if you cannot set in boundaries because you cannot leave the house, like, sometimes I would even recommend to tiptoe around for as long as you can, but then after you can set in a boundary, right? So be nice in a way that he can't take advantage of you too much, right? He can't walk all over you too much. Still put yourself first, still do the right thing, right? However, if he's really narcissistic and if he's really aggressive, I would not recommend to set in boundaries that are too strong and that gonna provoke his, let's say, aggressive or horrible or mean behavior. What I would recommend, I would kind of like tell you to live with it and focus on gratitude. Yet, when you are in a place that you can set in a boundary, like, for example, you can leave the house and set in a boundary, this is when I would do that. It's a little bit like, also like I done it with one of the girls I remember. So I was a nanny. It's the same thing, right? So, for example, I remember I was picking a child who was 5 years old from a nursery, and she threw a tantrum. Her mom said, Greta, after the nursery, do not give her any sugar, do not give her any lollipops, right? And after the nursery, somebody gave her a lollipop, right? And her mom said strictly no sugar, no lollipops after nursery. And the girl knew it. 5-year-old girl is already very wise, right? She knows she can do that. Somebody gave her a lollipop, and she was like, oh, and I said, like, Anna, don't eat it. And she was like, and then what she did in my face, in front of my face, on purpose, she started, like, taking off the paper off that lollipop, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, Anna, don't eat it. like your mom said, no, you cannot do that, right? And she was like being so dramatic. I'll eat whatever I want. She takes the paper, right? And she's like in my face, literally like licking that lollipop, right? And we were still at nursery, right? So lots of people, lots of children. She's like showing off in my face, right? What did I do? I didn't show any reaction. We went home. We were home in about an hour. When we walked in home, I took off her clothes, I hanged up her, backpack, all of that. And then I said, Anna, remember where you didn't listen to me in nursery and you licked your lollipop when I told you not to? Anna's like, yeah. I'm like, yeah. Now it's your turn to go and sit on that naughty step for 5 minutes. Did she like it? No. Was there a consequence? Yes. Did she go on a naughty step? Yes, she did. Did she do this again to me, licking the lollipop in my face? No, she did not. So my point is, if you are in a situation that you cannot set in a boundary, sometimes you're just gonna have to put up with that until the time comes that you can sit in that boundary. And this is when you set it in and it's gonna be good and it's gonna work. Okay? Okay, let me see your comments. We can learn so much from kids. This is like, and to the moms, I hope a lot of moms are watching because I could give you so many tips. Like I was a badass nanny in a way that I was so good, because before this, actually my passion was being a nanny. I was a nanny because it was my passion. I really, really enjoyed it for many years until I got bored of it. Yeah, it totally makes sense what you say. I also pray and I do meditate by Dr. Cool. When I pull the energy in your head, it's amazing. When I pull energy, oh, I see. Yes, the inversions that you just explained do open up third eye chakra. Just join in, so hurt only if you, okay, I see. During this isolation, I make a new plans. I'm gonna find new job. I'm gonna apply for a second university, and now I feel bad. I remind myself that one day this isolation will and start. Yes, that is so good, guys. That is so good. You all so positive, and you all are so focused on doing the right thing, which is amazing. It's so good. It's so good. So many people, like I see it all over Facebook. So many people are literally just uploading videos on Facebook how bored we are, or texting to each other, entertain me, I'm bored. That is the worst way to look at it. If I would get a text from somebody, I'm bored, like I would probably cut that person out of my life. Would be like, this is the one, like a huge sign that you're so low value and you don't have a life right now. You could be monetizing, you could be learning new skills, you could be creating like a wonderful life for yourself, you could be investing in yourself. To people who always say, oh, but I don't have the time to start online business, I don't have this, I don't have that, right? If when quarantine is over, those people still didn't do anything, it's not because we don't have the time, it's because we don't have the discipline. And discipline is everything. Discipline, self-discipline, self-control is the biggest form of self-love. Okay, so I'll leave you with this, guys. So thank you so much for watching. I hope it helped and inspired you to be positive during this tough period, and stay positive, stay safe, stay at home, and yeah, and try and focus on positivity and make the most of it, right? Kisses, have a good day. Thank you so much for watching.